Frank Kitson, a senior art director from Crysis.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
I think the main reason for it was, you know, you go from one island to another island, and it was just, you know, in a lot of visual structure that comes from jungle and things. I think it was just a natural urge to want to try and express it in another way, and you know, it was mixed in with the story development and to try and get, you know, an emotional attachment. That's what Chavat was talking about when he said he wanted a deeper involvement from the player, a deeper investment in the, you know, what's at stake. This is the biggest city in the world. You know what, you know, the whole story representation couldn't really have been carried out in the jungle. It needed to be, you know, expressed in another way. So Richard Morgan took it into a completely different and more modern, I think, approach.
These vagabond shoes.
There has been really every effort made to try and include all the key components that make up the city. As was said earlier, you know, that's yet to be remained. The clearance for all of these landmarks is very difficult to achieve, but you know, yeah, we're hoping to get all the big ones in there. The main approach has been to apply vertical gameplay. So as you saw in the demo, you can drop down to street level, you can climb up through buildings, there's multiple access points. In other levels you'll see you know, building to building, then down through the building, then back up and over. You can pick and choose in a much more diverse way than you could in the first game. You know, your access, the way that you approach the you know, the targets. I think it offers a much more diverse experience than the first game by far. I think it's really just because, as Chavat said, the story really is centered around New York, because it is in a lot of ways the epitome of the modern city. It encompasses all of the key aspects of modern civilization, and has just been, you know, just such a rich kind of visual and social kind of, you know, setting. And I think it's just kind of an homage to a great city. The challenges, if you want to call them, about in dealing with a console are, you know, really kind of smoothed away for me as an art director amazingly because of the power of the engine. I mean, the immense amount of technical effort that goes into making a world-class engine like CryEngine work on a console. You know, is a real testament to, you know, the prowess of the engine. It makes guys like me look good because, you know, we can generally get the kind of visuals that we want. I think the funny thing about consoles is there's a certain amount of room that you're allowed. Obviously, there's fixed limitations on memory and performance, and you know, all the well-known things that can kind of bump against performance, or at least getting you closer to what you want to portray. But no, I think there's a bit of mileage left in the console. You know, there's always challenges, but no, I think there's a lot of mileage there left. I think the main thing that players are going to find is the focus, the sharpening of the nanosuit in terms of the stealth and armor modes gives a very rich and deep you know, range of abilities. So for me as a player, I personally prefer the stealth, step out, shoot, and then see how the AI reacts. Other people like to step in and just, you know, go all blazing. So you get it all. You get hand-to-hand melee, you get stealth, and you know, kind of really sniper-type gunplay. You get you know, full-on, you know, just taking all comers on. I think it's much richer and actually, in some ways, I've yet to find the kind of depths of it. So no, I think it's a much deeper and richer gameplay experience at the moment. So yeah, it's good. The key components, as Chavad said in the presentation, it was a foreplay kind of thing that the player wasn't really, I don't think, kind of directed or edged towards. It's been refined to primarily a stealth and full-on armor and combat mode. So I think it's just been a refinement of features that were already there, but in such a way that it makes it clear for the player the kind of choices that they can have in gameplay.
Doesn't sleep.
I think it was, as Chavad Yerli said, Richard was one of his, favorite authors, and it was literally just as things happen in this industry, he picked up the phone and said, "We're building a game that I think you'd be interested in. Would you, care to come out and speak to us?" And he got on a plane, came out, fell in love with the whole concept. We immediately embraced him as a guy who's really creative and looking to add to what we do, not change it or, just take it and run with it. He was really, really working, flat out to make it the most diverse experience story-wise. So yeah, it's been great having him. I think the sophistication of the modern player, it's a requirement now to have a backstory and a believable depth to the characters and the whole thing. You can't just run through several hours of just shooting people. You can, but it's so much more interesting when you get the depth of the thought that's gone into the story as it has in this case. I'd say the main things that the engineers have done, in my view, that have allowed us to make a better looking game have been to preserve the phenomenal lighting abilities, being able to produce natural light as well as very stylized light, color grading, things that have been used in the film industry for quite a long time are now at our disposal, so we can create a very rich kind of fantasy experience or just natural, beautiful New York daylight, and it's that power that I think really will shine through in this game. I honestly believe that the depth of imagination and the artistic drive that we have as a company and the engine are going to combine to make it, an incredibly rich visual experience.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anyway.
Hand on heart, I really don't know. I know that they're looking towards the end of the year. That's what we're working towards. We're making phenomenal progress. The game is coming leaps and bounds. The levels that are currently, being worked on are pretty much the full game. So yeah, I think towards the end of the year is a very realistic target for us.
It's up to you.